Hello friends, welcome to Mechanical Engineering online classes.
Let us see kinetics of rigid bodies in this video lecture. Like particles, here also we'll have the types of motions. The first one is the translation, then the fixed axis rotation and plane motion. Unlike particles and rigid bodies, when it comes to fixed axis rotation, because a rigid body will have a center of gravity, whereas a particle is coinciding with its center of gravity, there we'll have fixed axis rotation alone. But here when it comes to rigid bodies, we have centroidal rotation and non-centroidal rotation. So let us see the relations and concept for each type of motion for kinetics of rigid bodies. The first one is the translation motion. So when a body which is subjected to a system of forces is in translation, and all the resultant of all these forces if passing through the mass center of body or center of gravity, then that time also we can convert the problem of rigid body as a problem of particles. And in that case, so the relation will be sigma fx will be equal to m into ax. Sigma fy will be equal to m into ay, and sum of moments of all forces is 0. So these are the equilibrium conditions, dynamic equilibrium conditions for rectilinear motion. In case the object is in curvilinear motion, so when the object is in curvilinear motion, we use the natural coordinate system. Such case, we will split all the forces in tangential direction and normal direction, and the equations that will hold true will be sigma ft equal to mat, sigma fn equal to man, and sigma m, sum of all moments is 0. So these are the relations that we'll be using, just like how we have done for the particles. Now coming to fixed axis rotation. Let us see the first type, centroidal rotational motion. Centroidal rotational motion means, for example, we are considering a body like this. Suppose its centroid is somewhere here, this is G. Then the axis of rotation is also about the axis that is passing through G. And suppose this is X, this is Y, this is Z. The object is subjected to an angular acceleration alpha, and the object is rotating about point G, which is its centroid. So axis of rotation is passing through center of gravity. So the equilibrium equations here in this particular case will be sum of forces along x-axis should be 0, sum of forces along y-axis should be 0. Now you may have a question, why is sigma fx or sigma fy is 0? And in this particular case where we are talking about rectilinear motion or curvilinear motion, when the object is in translation, we have taken sigma fx or sigma fy, or sigma f is not 0, it is equal to mass into acceleration of that particular rigid body in that particular direction. Because this is not equal to 0, that is the reason why the object is translating. If we observe, moment is considered as 0, because here we are talking about the rigid body under pure translation. Translation means the object is moving from one place to another. It is not rotating about itself or about some other point. The object is not rotating, it is purely translating. So moment is nothing but a tendency of rotation. When there is no rotation, the sigma m should be 0. Sigma f, if it is equal to 0, the object will not translate also. So that's the reason sigma fx or sigma fy or any sigma f in a direction is not 0. So this is for translation case. But when we are talking about fixed axis rotation, we are talking about pure rotation. So here there is no translation. And translation can be stopped only when the resultant force in a particular direction is 0. So in x-axis there is no unbalanced force, so the object will not move along x-axis. So sum of forces or resultant forces along y-axis is also 0, so object is not translating along y direction also. But there is a rotation that is happening, means our sigma m is not 0. So the sum of moments of all the forces that are acting on the object such that the object is under pure rotation can be given by the moment of inertia multiplied by angular acceleration. This now we know g point, so let us find sum of all moments about g. Then we will write it as moment of inertia of body about the axis of rotation is ig, and alpha is the angular acceleration. And let me tell you, this product I alpha is nothing but the inertia couple. This is called as inertia couple. This cannot be 0. If this is also 0, then the object is under static condition, means it is at rest, because neither there is translation, because this is 0. Translation is not happening. If this is also 0, rotation also will not happen. So now sigma mg is nothing but the algebraic sum of moment of all forces and couples acting on the rigid body about the center of rotation, where ig is the mass moment of inertia of body about axis of rotation and alpha is angular acceleration. So just like in the case of translation, the force in the direction of acceleration is considered positive. The force opposite to direction of acceleration is considered negative. That is a sign convention in translation. Similarly, in rotation, sign convention is that the moment of a force which is in the direction of alpha is positive. So here from the pic, alpha is in anti-clockwise direction. So moment of any force which is in anti-clockwise direction is positive. Now suppose this is not a rule. And suppose alpha is in clockwise direction, then the moment of forces that are in clockwise direction will be positive. So depending on the direction of alpha, the moment of force in that particular direction will be considered positive. So this is the first case where the rotational motion is about centroidal axis. Now let us see the second case, that is non-centroidal rotational motion. Means the axis of rotation is not passing through the center of gravity anymore. Suppose the object is somewhat like this, then G is somewhere here, and the axis of rotation is somewhere here, say this is O, such that our X, Y and Z are from this. Now we shall use a natural coordinate system. So this will be the normal, this will be the tangent, then AT will be along the tangential direction, AN will be along the normal direction. Then the equations that we will use are sigma ft is MAT, or because we know A is nothing but R alpha, so this can be written as MR alpha. This is sigma ft. So sigma Fn is MAN. AN is R omega square. So this is sigma Fn. And sum of moments of all the forces about, say, point O we will take. Then it will be the product of moment of inertia of the body about O multiplied by the angular acceleration. If alpha is this, because alpha is in clockwise and anti-clockwise direction, that's why tangent has come this side. Now let us see the third type of motion, which is plane motion. Plane motion is rolling of objects or bodies with or without slipping on a stationary surface. Now for example, this is a stationary surface on which there is an object which is rolling. Let alpha be the angular acceleration. So the object, it will be under rotation and also translation. So there will be, if this is, this center point is for a circular disc or wheel or a sphere, its center will be the center of gravity. So this g will be always in translation with some acceleration ag. The rotation is happening, so whose angular acceleration is alpha. So this is an example of plane motion. It will happen, it's a combination of pure translation and centroidal rotation. If we want, we can write this as g will always be translating with the acceleration ag. This is an example of pure translation. This is combined with centroidal rotation. So because the rolling is happening on this particular stationary surface, point G is always stationary. It is always at a height of the radius equal to the radius of the disc or wheel. So this alpha is always happening about G. G is stationary. It is always at the same height R. So this is an example of centroidal rotation. So pure translation plus centroidal rotation, these put together is becoming the plane motion. So here, because translation and rotation both are there, the equations that we use in order to find any unknown is sigma fx is m into ax, sigma fy is m into ay, sigma m, let us find all the moments about point G, then it will be ig into alpha. So let us see how to solve problems. The first step is that we should identify the number of particles or rigid bodies that are there. So once you identify the number of particles or rigid bodies that are there in the system, we should also find their direction of motion. The next step is to find a kinematic relation between between acceleration of different particles and rigid bodies. Once we know the relation between accelerations of different particles and rigid bodies, we have to then draw the FBD of each particle and rigid body, and then for every FBD we have to apply the Newton's second law, and by this we can find the unknowns. This is how we have to solve the problems on kinetics of rigid bodies. Let us see some examples in the next videos.
Thanks for watching. If this video was of help to you, please like it and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.